The rights of Palestinians, even their children, are wholesale denied, and it's appalling.
This man couldn't stop himself from breaking down in front of the camera while describing the situation in the Gaza Strip. The region has witnessed unprecedented violence in the last 24 days. The counterattacks escalated as Hamas militants were adamant on carrying out rocket attacks on Israel. The man crying in the picture is not a Palestinian who is crying for help to stop shelling by the Israeli military. He is the spokesman of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, the UNRWA. Chris Gunness burst into tears as he lost his fellow workers helping to provide relief for civilians in the affected area. 5 workers of the UN aid agency were killed in bombardment of Gaza Strip by the Israeli army. Chris said in an interview that the agency is morally down and has lost all hope of restoring peace in the troubled region.
We condemn in the strongest possible terms this violation of international law by the Israeli army, because what we've had, and our investigations have shown, we've examined the craters, we've examined the evidence that's at the scene, this was Israeli artillery. We had warned the Israeli army 17 times. We told them exactly where the school was. We told them it was filling up. It was full with over 3,000 people who'd taken refuge for the fighting. And don't forget, these are people who've been told to move by the Israeli army. In spite of all of that, the school was hit. Children sleeping next to their parents on the floor of a classroom in a UN-designated area were hit. That is unacceptable.
The pain and anguish of losing a team member is clearly visible in this interview, and the suffering of Palestinians living in Gaza can easily be ascertained. Close to 1,400 people have died so far, and millions have been forced out of their homes. It is not difficult to gauge the level of trauma the affected would be going through. Israel relentlessly attacked the Gaza Strip on Wednesday, killing 32 Palestinians, including 20 living in a United Nations relief camp. Schools and refugee camps were also not spared. Israeli bombs targeted at Hamas militants fell near a school where 3,000 Palestinians had taken refuge. The incident was condemned by the United States, who is backing Israel at the international forum.
Well, we do condemn the shelling of an UNRWA school in Gaza, which reportedly killed and injured innocent Palestinians, including children and UN humanitarian workers. Of course, we would also condemn those responsible for hiding weapons in United Nations facilities in Gaza as well. All of these actions, and similar ones earlier in the conflict, are inconsistent with the UN's neutrality, which we've spoken about in the past.
Millions of Palestinians have fled their homes since the offensive began. People living in Gaza have been asked to leave their homes by Israel, and about 182,000 have taken refuge in schools and government buildings. The battle between Israel and Palestine resumes after brief periods of ceasefire. There seems to be no end to the bloody conflict this time around. The offensive, termed as Operation Protective Edge by Israel, began on July 8th and has taken hundreds of lives so far. Bureau Report, DD News.